had some questions relating to Julie's personal experience as well.
Like you told us about your situation, like if I ask you what were some of your initial fears when when like your son was first diagnosed with 22q11?
It was after he was born. Birth didn't go well, cesarean. I wasn't very well, and it was only because I wasn't very well. And I remember I'm in the wheelchair, you know. I'd had postpartum hemorrhage from a cesarean, and it was all terribly complicated, and I was in kidney failure and not doing terribly well, and they took him away to feed him, and said, and a very young midwife said, does he go that purple colour when you've tried to feed him? When was the last time you fed him? And I wasn't quite with it. I sort of, I don't know. I'm not sure. And then they said, they were going to call a paediatrician, and they took me down to see him to the viewing thing. There was a big sort of screen. Now my mum had cancer for 8 years, so you get used to the sort of body language of doctors and nurses. You know, they sort of lounge about a little bit and look a bit sort of relaxed and things. And I looked at them, and even the ones that were, you know, normally hide behind the desk were really looking at it. I thought, Christ, got to tune in here, Julie. This is bad. And then I looked at the paediatrician and I said, so what's he doing? And they said, he's doing a bit of an examination and a few tests and that. And I saw him loosen his tie, and I saw a trickle of sweat just go down the side of his face. I thought, this is bad. So 2 hours later, they sent a specialist pod from Birmingham Children's Hospital, and he was basically blue lighted over there. And I couldn't go because I wasn't well enough. After that, so it was 3 days later, after I had my blood transfusions and all of that sort of stuff. So it was my first visit to the hospital. We were discussing what to call him because he was born on the 5th of November. So I was joking and saying, let's call him Guy, you know, Guy Fawkes, you know, bonfire night. And I could see this bloke in scrubs looking at me like I'm some sort of nutter. And I said, so when are you planning to do the operation? Because I knew he needed a shunt doing. And he looked at his watch, and I said, hang on a second, I thought it was going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And he went, no. He said they're coming to assess him right now. I was like, what? And so he developed what's called necrotizing enterocolitis. So he was 3 days old. Because of his poor heart function, the bowel's a very sensitive organ, and it died. And then because he hadn't got an immune system, basically, it became infected with gangrene. And so he had 75% of his bowel removed at 3 days old. And a bag, you know, a colostomy sort of thing, but a bit higher up. And from then on, it was just a downward spiral. Everything collapsed. So it was just, you know, one thing after the next. And anyway, he died.
Thank you. You've been nothing but great and
brave.
yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this.